Welcome to the Penngo Marketing Group. Today we're going to talk about the mobile app development process. Now, our vision for the workflow is to think about things in terms of reverse engineering. That is, what we want to look at is the ultimate customer experience, what that would look like, and then work our way backwards to build a development process that makes sense and is intuitive to both the development team and to our clients, so that in the end we end up with a beautiful product like this. This actually is an app that we just recently deployed. It's called the Shoka's Booking app. It allows the end user to book Caribbean dining and activity experiences before they travel. You can look it up. It works in conjunction with the website. It's a beautiful app. It took lots of work to build, lots of working with the clients, but in the end, because that client worked with us in all of the processes that I'm going to describe, in the end we end up with a beautiful end product. Now, the research. All apps start with an idea. Now, even if yours is just to have a mobile app presence. But the thing is, we need to refine that idea into a solid basis for an application. And what that means is we need to make sure that our initial analysis includes actual demographics, that is, motivations, behavioral patterns, and the goals of our buyer persona. And during each stage of the process, we need to be keeping that end user in mind, right? Now, try to think of your customer's life cycle. Now, once their characteristics are pinned down, after you reach them, they need to be acquired, they need to be converted, retained, and their loyalty nurtured. So by the end, you should really understand how the customer will be using that digital product. And doing this at the very onset will actually set you on firm footing. And your clarity will give you and your investors, if you have some, much needed confidence, right? The next step, of course, is wireframing. This is a step in which you document the wireframing app to understand the future functionalities. Now, although time is not necessarily on your side at this point, actually drawing these detailed sketches of the envisioned product will help you uncover usability issues. Now, sketching does a lot more than merely just tracing your steps. It can be a powerful communication and collaboration tool. And then when you're done sketching, the wireframing will actually help you refine the ideas and arrange all the components of the design in the right way. It'll also help you with overcoming technical limitations. You can overcome any technical limitation found in the back-end development process in this initial phase. Now, what we're going to aim to do is to develop a clear understanding of how your proposed features and ideas will fuse together into a functional app. Now, the next step, of course, is technical feasibility assessment. Now, you might have a clear understanding of the visuals by now, but you also need to consider if the back-end systems will be able to support the app's functionality. And to know whether the idea of your application is feasible technically, you need to get access to public data by sourcing public APIs. And then, of course, the next thing we need to do is build a rapid prototype. Now, rapid is the key word here. You can't truly comprehend the touch experience until and unless you touch the app and you see how it works and flows. So we need to build a prototype that gets the app concept into a user's hands as quickly as possible to see how it works for the common use case. Now, here we're actually using a rough and not an exhaustive wireframe for this phase, so it won't have all the features. But you have to get something in the hands of the end user quickly, even if it doesn't have full functionality. And then, of course, is the design. That is, once you get this step out of the way, you can actually dive into the actual coding, your user experience, your UX, your designer architects, the interaction between the design elements, while the user interface designers are building the look and feel of your app. So this is a multi-step process with many review stages. And so what you get is blueprints and visual direction, informing the engineers of the envisioned final product, and about how the interaction should move, should feel, and flow. And then, of course, is the development phase. The development phase generally starts quite early on. In fact, once an idea gains some kind of maturation in the conceptual stage, a working prototype is already developed, which validates its functionality, its assumptions, and helps give an understanding of the scope of the work. And then, of course, testing. In mobile app developments, it's absolutely necessary to test early and often. Doing so will keep costs down. Of course, that's mostly our problem once we've contracted with you. But the farther you go into the development cycle, it becomes costlier and it takes a lot longer to fix and get those bugs out if we don't nip them in the bud early on. Always referring to the original design and the planning documents while building out the various test cases. And then, of course, is deployment. Now, at this stage, your app is ready to submit. You choose a day and key up a formal launch. For different application stores, the policies of launching an application are different, of course. And you keep in mind, this isn't really the end. The app development doesn't end at launch. As your application gets in the hands of users, feedback will begin to pour in. And you'll need to incorporate that feedback into future versions of the app. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and until next time, take care and best wishes.